Today, we're going to take a closer look at some recent news that impacted NVIDIA. We also have companies like Air Test System, which are up 35% today. We also have reports of Iron and AMD, a lot of different news impacting the semiconductor space. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so first, let's obviously start off with the GOAT, NVIDIA. The stock was up about 1%, and after hours, the stock does seem to have a nice movement. There are kind of two things that happened with NVIDIA. First, we did see price target increases from two different analysts. And the second thing is we did see kind of NVIDIA release a few new products for the robotics and autonomous vehicle market. Now, if we look at the price target, the first one is the firm Stifel maintain its overweight rating on the stock while raising its price target to 212 from 202. This update forecast implies that the shares could rise about 19% from the Friday close. And the main reason is analysts sees a strong tailwind for the GB300 platforms. And that's something that we have discussed in this channel for a long time, right? Obviously, the GB200 and GB300 have been my personal favorite products from NVIDIA in forms of revenue generation. Now, the other company that did increase NVIDIA's price target was Bard, whichever. But they did increase the price target to $225 on August 25th. The last time that analysts did increase the price target, or kind of, he's actually had a maintained price target of $195 for a while. So Tristan, we can see since 195 since November 20th of 2024. So this is kind of the first time in almost a little bit over 10 months since since this analyst has increased the price target for NVIDIA. Now, I mentioned that there were a few new solutions NVIDIA announced today, and one is dealing with the robotics market. If you watched my video, I think on Friday or Thursday, I was explaining how this was going to be released here on August 25th. And luckily, it does seem like I was correct. So if you want the best semiconductor and AI news, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We just hit 75,000 subs. Thank you for that. And we already added about 300 new members or subscribers in the past 24 hours. So appreciate the support that you guys are giving me. So here, for those that are not familiar, NVIDIA they make the Blackwell, right? That's their main GPU architecture. And within that architecture, they design different solutions for different markets. One for the robotics, one for the automotive, obviously for the data centers, for the consumer gaming, for data center inference, and the list goes on and on. So here on August 25th, they announced the availability of Jetson Thor. So Jetson Thor is the one that goes for the robotics market. Now, this is expected to go into powerful new robotics computers designed to power millions of robots across industries, including manufacturing, logistics, transportation, healthcare, agriculture, and retail. And they also already talked about early adopters, which include leaders like Agility Robotics, Amazon Robotics, Boston Dynamics, Caterpillar, Figure, Hexagon, Medtronic, and Meta. So obviously we see some big hitters there. Amazon Robotics, Boston Dynamics, Figure are ones that I know are really big in the robotic space. It also seems that Meta is really pushing in the robotic space as well, as they are already early adopters. Now, they also gave us of other companies that are evaluating this product, and that is John Deere, 1X, OpenAI, and Physical Intelligence. So we can also see that OpenAI is definitely pushing into this physical robotics AI market. So that's pretty interesting there. So this new Jetson Thor is powered by NVIDIA's Blackwell GPU and featuring 128 gigs of memory. It's also using ARM-based CPU, which most of these solutions tend to be. So if you are an ARM shareholder, you might get a little bit excited there. The great thing about this is NVIDIA has created this amazing developer ecosystem. All those software stacks that NVIDIA has made fit perfectly in NVIDIA Jetson software platform. So that's the great thing of having this massive ecosystem. You can create new solutions where those developers can actually work really well with the new product. It was also mentioned that they use it for robotic simulation like NVIDIA's Isaac Root, which is the foundational model for humanoid robots, Metropolis, which is for vision AI, and Holoscan, which is for real-time sensor processing in forms of software solutions that they have right now. So again, you can kind of see NVIDIA just building that software market. I have some images here that they shared here. They kind of show how Thor is so much better than Orin. And when you come with robotics, the best thing you want is to be able to get that first token as quickly as possible. It means less lag between what you say and what the robot is doing. So here we can see that there is a massive improvement versus the previous generation. Here's what it looks like. You can see the Jetson T500, 5000 with Blackwell GPUs and some other types of solutions happening here. Now, the price of this is about $3,500, but if you're ordering more than 1,000 units, it actually drops down to $3,000. So a nice sell there. And for them to be doing these types of, in my opinion, sales where volume pricing, it does indicate that there are some players that are building a nice amount of robotic solutions right now. So while this as a single product is not, in my opinion, anything revolutionary that should be driving the stock price, I think the long-term information that you get from here is very bullish for companies like NVIDIA. It's saying that this AI market is really coming and it's coming pretty fast. So yeah, that's what I really did enjoy. The other thing that they announced is kind of another developer kit, but this is for the drive. So the autonomous vehicle market, the previous one was for the robotic space. They mentioned that they are available for pre-order today with delivery in September. They also talk about how very big leading automotive companies are already using Drive HGX Store, BYD, IM Motors, Li Auto, Volvo Cars, Seeker. They also talk about kind of AV partners and autonomous trucking companies that are using these products as well. So again, it just gives us that indication that the robotics and autonomous vehicle market are here to stay. Now, the next company we're going to take a closer look at is Air Test Systems. This is a stock that's up about 36% after hours. Luckily, if you have been following this channel, the great thing about YouTube is you can easily have timestamps. So about a month ago, on July 9th of 2025, I did an episode on Air Test System. I'm actually a owner of Air Test Systems, but here we can see the stock was about $13.29. It was down after earnings. I kind of talk about how there is massive opportunity, especially because of the AI processor burn-in that they have. For those that are not familiar with Air Test System, this is a company that makes a semiconductor equipment solution that kind of stress tests. That's the easiest way to think about it. You put, in theory, on a top level overview, I don't want to bore you, but you kind of put chips in there. It stress tests with high voltage and it makes sure that everything is working correctly. Obviously, there's some uniqueness behind it, and the way that the product is actually tested is a bit different, but it's pretty much a stress test. And today that they announced that they received additional orders for this stress test that is being used by a lead AI hyperscaler player. The customer we can see is a world leading hyperscaler delivering compute power and storage to millions of users and organizations globally. The CEO mentions that they are very pleased that this leading hyperscaler has increased its forecast and placed additional volume production orders of their Sonama system so soon after last month's order. So market is obviously excited with a market cap of less than 730, about 735 million. So less than $1 billion. Big orders from a massive hyperscaler can do wonders to stock price. And that's what we're seeing. The stock was up roughly 35.86%. Now, again, we've talked about this. I own Air Test System. It's been one of those stocks that has definitely been discussed in this channel, and that's why you need to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. Now, we also had some other updates with Iron, ticker IREN. So this is kind of one of those data center Bitcoin miners players that is building kind of data center infrastructure, market cap of $5.2 billion, up about 8% today. They did announce that they are procuring an additional 4,200 NVIDIA Blackwell B200 GPUs, which will double their GPU fleet to about 8.5 thousand. In addition, they have secured financing for prior purchase of NVIDIA's Blackwell B200 and B300. Now, they even gave us a form of layout of this market. We can see right now in forms of their fleets, they have very limited H200s and H100s, which I like a lot. Most of their fleet is the B200s and the B300s, which are what's shipping right now. So that's actually pretty great for them. Now, the only thing I would say is I'm hoping they're able to put these to turn on as quickly as possible because that helps out dramatically. But obviously, this is a nice secure win for them. And during this AI market, if you are GPU rich, you're rich in general. Now, I think this is the final stock I want to take a closer look at today is AMD. So AMD unfortunately was down 2.6% on the day. There wasn't really anything negative on the stock today. It was just kind of, it could be what my biggest thought process is, it could just be overall market sentiment. I mean, we had companies like Intel down about 1%. Nothing necessarily scary for AMD. The closest thing we saw is on recently on August 25th, AMD announced that Mr. Philip Carter is resigning as the chief accounting officer of AMD effective September 5th of 2025. The main reason is Mr. Carter has accepted a position as chief financial officer. So obviously an upgrade at another company. So it's pretty much a promotion. Now, for those that are not familiar, Mr. Philip Carter just recently joined AMD. He joined on November 18th of 2024, and he's coming in from Skyworks. So Skyworks was where he was working prior. And can you guess where he's headed now to become the new CFO? Exactly, Skyworks. So it seems like he moved to AMD. He used this new AMD position to be able to kind of get a nice promotion, and he is now the CFO of Skyworks. I would say I don't see this as a bearish case for AMD. I know sometimes when we see accounting people leave, there's a lot of worries of, oh man, there must be something bad with the financials. This person doesn't want to be stuck with something bad. Here, I just think the person is taking the opportunity to get a better pay and to get a better title in their resume. And it's going back to a company that he's been working for a very, very long time. So interesting to see there. I don't think this is going to be anything crazy for AMD. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.